Hello, everybody. So now I'm gonna talk about the only male character in the Grandview Garden, Jia Baoyu. He had everything except the permission to stay human. Jia Baoyu and the boy who refused to become a man. Imagine being born into a family where everyone has already planned your life before you can even walk. You will study, succeed, marry correctly, carry the family name. You'll become the kind of man people can point to at dinner and say, "Look, we're racing right." Now imagine you're also born with a magical piece of jade in your mouth. That's Jia Baoyu. Everyone sees the jade and thinks, a miracle, a blessing, a sign from heaven. But you probably should have gotten a normal childhood. Instead, he got a brand identity. Before he was old enough to want anything, everyone has already decided what his life was supposed to mean. He was not just a kid. He was a family nurse with a pulse. He was a family future with a pulse. And that's the first problem because sometimes the heaviest prison is not hatred, it's expectation. The jade is not a gift, it's pressure with better lightning. In Western story, a magical object usually means adventure, a sword, a ring, a prophecy, something that says you're special, go do something amazing. But Baoyu Jade feels different. It doesn't send him on a quest. It traps inside everyone else's interpretation of him. His grandmother sees treasure, his father sees responsibility. The family sees continuity, the servant sees status. Society sees a boy who should grow into a proper man. Nobody asks, what if he doesn't want to become the person this symbol requires? That's why Baoyu feels more than. He is a gifted child, the family hope, the first son, the elite school kid. The rich kid expects to inherit the business, immigrant family's dream. The person everyone calls lucky while quietly removing his right to be ordinary. And yeah, he has privilege. But privilege doesn't mean you own your life. Sometimes it means your life is expensive property. He feels masculinity as a baby, which is kind of iconic. When boy is little, his father does a classic test. Put objects in front of the child, see what he reaches for. A good future son should choose something serious, books, scholarship, something that say, "Father, I will become useful and emotionally unavailable." Boy, you reach for a woman thing. Roji, powder, hair ornaments. His father is horrified. The boy is basically a toddler and has already filled the male career path. The scene is funny, but it's also the whole novel in miniature. Boy keeps reaching for the world his father thinks is beneath him. Not exam rank, official ambition, not respectable male seriousness. He reached towards a woman's world. Beauty, texture, feeling, closeness, inner room, the thing that other men pretend not to care about, while secretly letting these things keep them alive. His father thinks this means Baoyu will be useless. The novel is asking maybe the thing the family could call useless are the only thing that are still human. Girl Baoyu had this famous line, girls are made of water, men are made of mud. Now from a modern angle this sounds insane. Like, sir, please log off, but don't reduce it to he likes girl. This is too easy. Bao is not making a biological argument. He is reacting to a world. The men around him represent exams, careers, status, networking, family duty, inheritance, money, reputation, and sexual entitlement. They call that maturity. Bao calls it mud. And honestly, a lot of modern men understand this more than they might admit. Every culture teaches boys some version of man up, stop crying, be useful. Make money, don't be soft, compete, win, provide, be someone people can respect. But you look at this and think, why does becoming a man require killing everything tender? That's a real question. What if the official version of Manku is just emotional damage with a career plan? That's why he runs towards the girl in the Grandview garden, not only because he's attracted to them, but because they still seem alive. They write poetry, cry, laugh, argue about flower. They feel things before turning this feeling into strategy. To Baoyu, the girls are not decoration. They're evidence that another way of being human still exists. He hates career talk. And yes, it is complicated. But you hate the word of official career, the exam, networking, make something of yourself speech, the Asian Chinese version of LinkedIn. And yes, we have to be honest, he can afford to hate it. He's rich, he has servants, he lives in a mansion. He can say, I reject the system while the system is still cooking his dinner. So part of you wants to say, my guy, maybe get a job before you become a philosopher. That criticizing is valid. But the novel is not stupid. He knows Bao is privileged. He also knows he sees something real. He hates success because he sees what success does to men. Becoming successful is not just about income, it's moral packaging. A good son studies, passes exam, becomes an official, marries properly, continue his family, become useful. But Bao's whole body rejects the word useful. Because in the family, usefulness is how people stop being people. A son becomes an investment. A girl becomes a marriage plan. A maid becomes disposable labor. A family becomes a machine. Bao is not lazy in the simple things. He's allergic to becoming a product. This is where Chinese culture makes the story different. A modern Western story would probably leave the family, move to Brooklyn, start syrup, make ceramics, write a newsletter called Healing the Inner Jade. But he doesn't live in that kind of freedom. He lives inside Jia family, household, lineage, name, money, obligation, reputation, ancestors. Servants, marriage, all tied together. In this world, family not just where you go for Thanksgiving. Family is the institution that gives you your name, future, your social position, and your responsibility. You can just be yourself without disturbing a whole network of people. This is why he's probably deeper than teenage rebellion. He's not simply asking, how can I escape my family? He's asking, how do I remain human inside a family that loves me by turning me into a role? It's a very Chinese question and still global. Because many people can't simply live. Immigrant kids know this. Eldest children know this. People in family businesses know this. People from traditional family know this. Whose parents sacrifice know this. Sometimes live and be yourself sounds good only to people who can't afford the loneliness that comes after. But you can't fully live. But staying means becoming something he hates. That's a trap. He loves the girls, but he cannot save them. Bao Yu loved the girl in the garden, but he is not the savior. He sees them more clearly than most men do. He respects their inner life. He's moved by their pain. He doesn't treat them as furniture in the family system. That matters, but seeing someone is not the same as protecting them. He loves Daiyu, but he cannot stop the marriage system. He loves the maids, but he cannot stop the household from using and discarding them. He loves the garden, but he doesn't own the garden. He hates the rules, but the rules still feed him. This is the most honest line about Bao Yu. He loved women as a world, but he couldn't save women as people. That's why he's tragic. Not because he felt too much, because feeling was not enough. This is also why he feels painfully modern. A lot of people today are excellent at noticing injustice. They can name the system, critique the system, hate the system, post about the system, but still benefit it. Still feel the people crushed by it, but not a hypocrite in a cheap way. Here's what happens when awareness arrives before responsibility. Bao Yu and Daiyu are not just a love story. They're not interesting because they're cute together. They're interesting because they recognize each other. Daiyu is afraid of being thrown away. Bao Yu is afraid of being used. Daiyu's terror is, will anyone remember who am I when I'm when I'm no longer convenient. Baoyu's terror is, will anyone let me remain human when the family needs me to become useful? That's why they understand each other. They're not simply two sad teenagers in a garden. They're two people who know this world coming to rename them. Wife, heir, official, failure, success. Their love is not just a romance. It's a protest against being turned into functions. That's why marriage can't save them. Marriage in this world is not outside the system. It's one of the system's strongest tools. They don't just want each other. They want the garden to remain true, and you can't marry a season of life. The core word is qing. The deepest word for Baoyu is qing, not just a love. Qing is feeling, attachment, desire, responsiveness, tenderness, a part of life that refuses to be reduced to duties or usefulness. Against the qing stands Li. Li is ritual, order, role, the structure that holds family and society together. Baoyu is precious because he keeps insisting. A person is not just a role. A maid is not just a maid. A girl is not just a future wife. A son is not just family investment. A flower is not just decoration. A tear is not weakness. That's his gift. But he's a crushing qing along, qing feeling. Alone can build a world. Feeling alone can protect the people we love. Tenderness can redesign a family. Bao is right about what's missing, but he doesn't know how to create what should replace it. He's too human for the machine, too shadow to defeat it. In the received ending, Bao finally does the scene the family always wanted. He pauses then. For a moment, the family script seems complete. The strange boy has become legible. The heir has proven himself. The family can breathe. Finally, he becomes someone the world understands. And then in winter, his father is traveling by boat. The boat stops at an old ferry crossing. Snow everywhere, cold river, quiet bank. Suddenly, Baoyu appeared on the shore. He's wearing a red cloak. His hair is loose. His feet are bare in the snow. He faces his father's boat, and he bows, not casually, fully. A final son's gesture. Jia, his father, come out and asks if it is him. Baoyu's face is both joy and grief. Then the monk and the Taoist arrive. They took it away. They say, "Let's go." Let's go. And just like that, he disappeared. This is such a strange ending because he doesn't leave because before proving himself. He leaves after touching the thing the family wanted. He chosen, I could enter your world. Then he refused to remain there. That's what makes the image so powerful. The red cloak in the snow, the barefoot thumb, the father on the boat, the monk and Taoist, the bell, then despair. It's not teenager rebelling anymore. It's a final exit from every name people gave him. Son, husband, heir, scholar, successful man. Even Baoyu, he walks away from all of it. This is important. The ending doesn't mean nothing matters. It's not everything is empty, so who cares? That's not the point. The point is everything matters. Daiyu, the garden, the girl, the poem, the tears, the jokes, the love, friendship, everything matters. But none of it could be kept. That's the pain. The dream was not fake. It was real while it lasted. Bowie lives not because love was an illusion. He lives because love was real, but the world has no form strong enough to protect it. That's more devastating. Baoyu had everything people are told to want. A rich family, famous name, magical sign, a path to success. But he didn't have permission to stay human. The world wanted him to become a proper man. He looked at the proper man and saw Maud. The world wanted him to talk about career. He called it nonsense. The world wanted him to inherit the house. He loved the people of the house. He loved the people the house was going to destroy. The world wanted him to become useful. He wanted to remain tender. That's why values still matter. Every culture has a version of this question. What is the life everyone approves of? Is a life that makes you despair? Baoyu did not solve the question. He was too privileged to protect it, too helpless, too late. But he saw it. And sometimes seeing the trap is the first crack in the house. He had everything except himself. Yeah, that's it for today. He's very important figure, being around with other girls, and the son of Jajong, the heir of the house, and the only male character in the Grandview Garden. And it's it's not just about Chinese culture. I think maybe it's connected to also to American or European society about man, about expectation, about the things you love, and about yourself. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.